in coaching, and I know we ran the inclusion program last year, how else do you think we can challenge some of this or bring in models and tools around this topic in coaching?
Well, I'm thankful that the coaching profession and the new standards that are put out, by the ICF and some of what the health board's talking about, and just in the field of coaching in general, how there is people are speaking to these topics. And I often ask myself, even in this community where we live in now, like, what would help people change? What would help people see? And I'm not sure. I don't know. And I don't know yet. I'm trying to figure that out. But I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
I think this is a good opportunity to even invite our communities to send us maybe even ideas or questions around this. I think as I'm listening to you and really valuing how open you're being, how can we have more of these growth conversations? How can we open up the dialogue? Because for some people, and when I've worked with people, talked to people, there can be guilt that comes up around this, can't there? You use the word humility. But how do people manage the guilt of not knowing or even not knowing what to do with all of this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know the best that I can do is to understand that I do have blind spots. I do have areas that I can't see, and that that it's my responsibility to keep the education going. Keep moving in these directions. Keep reading. And what I feel is most exciting is when I do that, and when I see this, these insights around diversity and inclusion work are so powerful. This work is courageous. It is generous. It is so strong. And this helps. I mean, it has helped inform my understanding of coaching. Something I've been doing for 15 years, and seeing this, it is astonishing. And then on the other hand, I know that coaching also has insights that can help deepen understanding of diversity and inclusion, and that's also exciting. And so it feels like there is a synergy between the two fields. There is going to be growth in both fields, and who knows what this looks like 100 years from now. Curious, Rod, your thoughts on this? Where
I mean, I would encourage, as I'm listening to you, I'd encourage anyone to check out Rhonda McGee's work on the inner work of racial justice. And, she talks a lot about, as we were talking, kind of mindfulness, meditation, self-connection, self-awareness. I think all of it lends itself to the work that we do in coaching, don't we, as well, holding that mirror up to self and looking at our blind spots. And last year when I was looking at some of this work, and I think, we forget sometimes the privilege that we have. I remember speaking to Andrew about this, and I'm like, the privilege that I have looking like this, but speaking like this, the education privilege that I've had, the fact that I'm able-bodied, the fact that I can just, I can walk down the stairs, I don't have a disability, I can get in a car, privilege around socioeconomic status as well. And I think the more, and I keep saying this, holding that mirror up to self, and then how do we use that privilege to make change and be kind of the inclusion advocate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a practice of asking, how can I be of value? How can I help? How can I be the best ally I can be? And sometimes it's just praying, and other times it's saying something, and then on a larger level, it's for me, it's putting together programs that provide this work to communities that wouldn't necessarily have access to this. So it's on a few different levels, but it's a question that, like many things in this organization, I feel like I want it to happen sooner than it is. And when I look at the tremendous work that's ahead of us, like what's required for this work, I feel the motivation. I really do. And I see it like on a personal level, like family level, like I feel it. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, it can be really heavy and also very, the hope can be very light too. It's amazing. There are some teenagers here. I'm surprised at how aware they are, and that gives me a lot of hope. This next generation, I have a lot of hope for them, with them, through them. I keep going back to that.
I agree. So we've got like hope and humility and compassion. And we're thinking of that kind of tool of listening in a sense. And I know you're the creator of so many different tools, John. What other tools? I mean, I'm just thinking about coaches who might be going into conversations at the minute or coaching sessions where this is coming up. There'd be a tool that you would recommend?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of specific friends and the journey that they've been on, and I've pointed them towards. I feel like a lot of it rests on gaining knowledge and reading books and doing the research, and that's I feel like one of the best things that people can do. And yeah, that's it, Marge. I don't know. I feel like I could get really mad really quick. I don't, but I don't. I mean, there's also like a to-do list in front of me too, and I feel like that feels like a. I think part of it is asking questions of, okay, so this emotion is here. What's the message of the emotion? How can I use it? What's it? What does it mean? And I think it just means like, okay, like let's put more energy into the work that I know is going to make a difference. I think just the mindfulness of that is, how can I use this emotion? I know a lot of people feel when they're starting out their coaching practices, or they're looking at the anxiety that comes around financial security, and I'm making this leap into this field. How's this working? How's this look like? And the question then becomes, how can I use this anxiety? How can I use this pressure to my advantage to move forward with this? And it's asking, so the question then becomes, how can I use this emotion for the advantage of the cause? Mindfully, skillfully, artfully, creatively. And it's not the question is how much can you get? The real question is, how much can you give? And when you answer that question again and again, then the business, the organization, those things, like, people will recognize it and see it. Yeah. What about you, Raj? What tool comes to your mind?
Firstly, I can't believe we've only got a couple of minutes left. I don't know where the time always goes, John. So as I was listening, I think I'm thinking about what you're saying. What is the opportunity here? Even in the darkness, there are stars, aren't there? And as painful as darkness is, how do we ourselves step into the light? So I think it really is, and I ask myself that question as well, also think about what Tony Robbins talks about. He says all emotions are a call to action. So, and you're demonstrating that today, I'm feeling that anger, I'm feeling that fire, but this is what I want to do with it. And this is where I'd like to take this. And I think that's how I feel. One of my values, I've been in diversity inclusion work a really long time. I talk about truth and justice on a joking side. I still wear my Wonder Woman bracelet, which is all about truth and justice. So I think for me, and I know we'll chat more about this in the future, is how do we bring more of those inclusion practices and diversity practices into coaching so that it's not an add-on, but it becomes part of what we do and who we are as coaches. And I think I want to continue to hold myself accountable of how do we continue to make this conversation easier. I think the more we talk about it, the more somebody like you talks about it, the more we invite others in to have this conversation. So I think just keep listening, keep asking those questions, being curious, holding the space for people to be able to be real and honest and raw.
I'm curious, Raj, what's been some of the biggest insights from the diversity and inclusion work that you've had that's made an impact on your coaching?
Definitely privilege. We've already talked about privilege. I think the work, that inner work on how I was showing up, but also asking the question around who's my circle of influence? And I think that's a question I like to leave people with as well. Like, who are you surrounding yourself with? And we become the average of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with. So if you're just surrounding yourself with like for like, you're not learning anything new. You're not necessarily growing. You're not opening yourself up to different perspectives and that diversity. And I think when I did that work as part of the training, because I like to hold myself accountable and do the work too, there was some gaps. There were some great areas. I'm in a mixed relationship. I've got friends from all over the world. Yet I was like, what else can I be involved in? How else can I shift here to hold that mirror up and tackle any of my own unconscious bias? And actually, I want to keep meeting people that are different from me, because that helps me to learn and grow and challenge assumptions and perspectives. I know we're on time, so.
We are. Wow, it goes fast. We didn't answer any of the planned questions that we had. Right?
It was as it was meant to be.
Gosh. Yeah. I also want to just shine a light on the power of reaching out to people and being the best ally we can. And I used to think about the impact of coach training when I had certain friends go through coach training, how powerful it was, where it almost felt like coach training was in some way friend training, where you get to learn to listen to people, truly listen to people. And I feel like that's my hope for the world, is that humans learn to listen, like truly listen, not with their own agenda or through their own filter, but to start to hear the other person more, like truly hear them. And that's my hope. That's my hope.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you for being so open and real and raw and being an ally.
Here we are. Thanks. Thanks so much. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best, but I know sometimes that's not enough. It doesn't get there. But I understand that too. And Roger, you're amazing. Thank you for this work and holding space and the work you're doing and the life you're living and all of it. It's making a difference. And yeah, I'll be sending you energy in
Thank you.
this next bit. And thank you all community for being here, a part of this. And your work, this work of building your practice, your work of empathetic listening, following along and doing the inner work, it matters. It's part of this larger movement of humanity to bring more awareness, mindfulness, understanding, empathy to the world. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.